Multiple air kills are a rarity in war, but there are times when experienced combat hunters generate their own luck through sheer desire and effort.
I know the top-ranking ace of the world. His name is Erich Hartmann, and he has 354 aerial victories, most of them in Russia. But he had experience. He shot down 18 in one day. So how do you account for that? Being in the right spot at the right time is one thing, but being good at it is another.
In the Pacific, Tommy McGuire and Dick Bong perfected using quick gun bursts and high-speed passes in P-38s that were devastating in their effect on Japanese planes.
Many of the multiple kills were on a single pass, and that's where the good gunners came in, of which both Tommy and Dick were very, very good gunners, particularly high angle, like high-speed duck shooting. You had to get out in front of them. And both of these gentlemen, even despite their tender years, were absolute experts in air-to-air gunnery.
Most fighter pilots, at least in World War II, didn't try to do any clever tricks because you're vulnerable, especially if you start to do a maneuver where you pull up and it's kind of a half loop. Up at the top of that thing, you're going slow, you're upside down, and you're really vulnerable. A lot of those clever maneuvers are really good in air shows, but they're not very good when it comes to aerial combat.
In Vietnam, where speeds and weapons had progressed to a savage state-of-the-art, two future aces, Air Force Captain Steve Ritchie and Chuck de Bellevue, shot down their third and fourth MiGs in a battle that lasted 1 minute and 29 seconds. Too fast for the winners, a lifetime for the losers.
On the 8th of July mission, which was the most intense, the most exciting, the most perfect mission that I ever flew. It was one of those days when it all came together. During that minute and 29 seconds, I had to draw on every life experience that I had ever had. Everything that was part of my makeup and my training, my education, had to come together at that moment and work, and it did. And few people ever get to experience a moment where everything gels. And it is a feeling that is, it's just hard to describe. As the mission began to develop, one of the MiG cap flights that had been in earlier had actually been hit by a MiG, and he had broken formation and was headed out. He was bleeding fuel and hydraulics and was announcing his position, heading, and altitude on the emergency frequency. A very bad idea, because the North Vietnamese are monitoring the emergency frequency, and they see a cripple limping out by himself, they're going to send MiGs after him. So we headed in the direction of the fellow that was coming out with trouble. And we began to get calls from Red Crown and Disco that there was additional MiG activity. So you can imagine the adrenaline is beginning to pump.